My question tonight is, in a relationship, there was a baby that was born. At the time of the birth, the father signed the birth certificate. The relationship broke off. Several years later, the mother wanted to collect child support payments, so the father asked for a DNA test. At that time, it was proven that he is not the father. Is the birth certificate that he signed, thinking in the beginning that the baby was his, valid in case the father dies or the child tries to contest the will?
That's interesting.
Okay, I kind of missed the end of your question, but I think where we're going on here. First of all, let's talk about those birth certificates. Typically, what happens is at the time that a woman gives birth to a child, the birth certificate is signed. Pretty much the affidavit of paternity is what's produced at the hospital, where the father or the husband has to sign off in order to have his name added to the birth certificate. That does, in fact, under the Alabama law, creates a legal obligation to pay. However, once a petition for support is filed, a father does have the right to ask for paternity, meaning they want paternity tested, some type of scientific evidence to show that they are indeed the biological father. Once that evidence is actually presented in court, and typically, here some of the judges, what they'll do is they would go ahead and enter an order for paternity, but there must be a guardian ad litem appointed to the case. The child's interest must be protected. We must remember that child support is an obligation that belongs to the child. It's the right of the child. Every child has a right to be supported by his or her parents. So when we're talking about doing paternity testing and we have this presumption of paternity that you're the father, we have to protect that child's interest. So a GAL is appointed to protect the interest of the child. DNA testing is ordered. Once the DNA testing is brought in, whether the court, they get the results, at that point, the court get to decide whether or not to exclude that person as the father. Typically, once the DNA test results come in, then if it's not the father, and typically I'll say that this person is excluded as being the biological